Good afternoon, everyone. I am Miss Gabby, and welcome to my month of October Cap at Home after school programs. I'm super stoked because every Monday I'll be hanging out with you guys after school, and we're going to be creating some cool, fun projects, especially right now because one of my favorite holidays is Halloween, and it's coming up, so we're kind of going to get right into the start and feel of Halloween today with making some cool paper pumpkins. So I'm really excited because I'm going to be doing a few paper crafts this month. So it's going to be exciting because, we can use, colored paper, or if you have just white paper and you want to color it or keep it white, like that's going to be awesome too, because we can use whatever is available to us. So you can kind of see already that I kind of did some different sizes. Oops. And tried some different kinds of ways to create my paper pumpkins. And you can see right now I have my awesome little mini pumpkin as inspiration. So you can kind of see all of that so far. So let us get started with what we need today. So what I have that I'm working on right here is a little cutting mat, or if you have anything else, like, we have our, I just have like some white paper over here too to help kind of keep things clean, because it's really important to keep things clean around here. So I'm going to just put these off to the side, keep them as our inspiration. So what we're going to need today is some color paper, construction paper. So if you want to use pumpkin color, so just like 2 sheets of orange, and I do have, some green to help create our leaves. So we'll need at least 2 sheets to create a pumpkin. So 2 sheets of 8.5 by 11, or if you have any other size, I can help modify all of that too. So next, what we're going to need is a ruler. So I have my handy dandy ruler here, and some scissors, and a pencil. This is going to help to draw anything. So, and if I do suggest using hot glue today, you can use white glue, but it will just take a few, a little bit longer to do something and to create and kind of help put our pumpkin together. So if you have an adult around to help you, that would be awesome. And if you have any twine, or if you want to go outside and grab some twigs, I have this one that I'm just going to cut in half to use, and some twine if you have it. So that's what we need today to start off, and a little bit of patience is what we're going to need today too. Just because this is a lot about the process, and it's going to be great because we can kind of then go ahead and modify our pumpkins and kind of whatever we want to use size-wise. So what we want to do, and if you want to read in the description, that is there too. We want to take our 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut our sheets down. We want to create 1.5 inch strips. So using our ruler, I'm just going to go ahead and mark, my 1.5 inch strips. You see I'm kind of, keeping it easy for me, starting back at 0, and moving along there. So I'm kind of going like this and creating my 1.5 strips here. So we're going to end up doing this to both of our papers. So you see here, I'm just kind of slowly making sure I'm measuring it right and kind of moving along, making 1.5 inch marks. So you can kind of see, sorry, let me move it a bit so you can see. And so if you have orange, that's awesome. But pumpkins can be white. You can paint a pumpkin. So your pumpkins can honestly be any color. So if you don't even have orange, you can definitely use any other color that you have available to you. So next what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm going to be cutting a straight line. So those 2 marks on the edges of the paper, I want to make a line. So that's the line I'm going to cut across. So what I'm going to do is just lightly, I'm not pushing very hard with my pencil, is making a faint line there that I will be able to, it's kind of tough to see right now, but it's there. So I'm just going to go ahead and make my line, so then I'll be able to cut my strips, 1.5 inch strips, pretty easily. I'm not sure why there's a little divot in my ruler. Okay, so you see that? I kind of pushed a little harder there. That's all right. And we can always erase our pencil marks. So that's why I'm doing it lighter, just so it'd be easier to erase, so it's not going to be like all over my pumpkin. So you can kind of see I'm moving swiftly here, lining it up, taking my time. So like I said right at the beginning, it's kind of about patience in the process of what we're doing today. So I'm gonna just put this off to the side. You can kind of see the lines are here. And yes, there you have it. You can kind of see lines. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start cutting. So if you have, you know, adult scissors, be careful. If you have an adult that needs to help you with your cutting, that's great too, if you have someone available to help you. If not, you know, just you can go kind of slowly to create that nice straight line. And if it's not a straight line, that's all right. Your pumpkin, not all pumpkins are perfectly round. Not all of my paper pumpkins are perfectly round or create the perfect shape. And that's all right, because I'm not perfect and neither is my cutting. But everything is gonna have character, and that's what is amazing about what we do. So you can kind of see I am going to that perfect. So I kind of went quickly there at the end. So I'm just gonna stack my, you know, strips right up, and I'm gonna go ahead and just toss. Either keep this scrap of paper or you can throw it away. You know, you can save it for a different like art project. That's up to you. So if you read in my description in the comments, it's really important. What you can have here is we're going to need four separate sheets that are going to be at 11 inches long here. So you see I wrote 11 here. So we're gonna have 4 strips, and then we're gonna need 4 strips at 9 inches long, and then we're gonna need 2 strips at 5 inches long. So, you know, that's why we have 2 sheets, and we're gonna go ahead and cut that right up. And what's amazing is I already have my sheets cut out. So, right here. So I have my 2 and 5 inch ones, my 9-inch ones. I only have 2, so I'm gonna need to cut 2 more. So I have that and 11. So let's see, we have 11. And okay, perfect. So what we wanna do is, since we had an 8.5 by 11 sheet, these are already 11 inches long, so that's perfect. That's what we need. So I have these 2 that I already trimmed down to 9 inches. So I would like to go ahead and trim these ones down to 9 inches. So what I'm gonna do is just take my ruler and go to 9 inches, and then what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just trim that. So then I have 4 9-inch strips, and then here I measured and cut the last 2 to 2 5-inch strips. Oh, excuse me. Let me just raise this a little bit so we can see a little bit more. 1 second. There we are. Probably see a little bit better. We can see a little bit more. Perfect. Yep, that's what we want. Okay, so you can see I have extra strips over here, more pumpkins. So I'm gonna keep these off to the side so I can use them for something else. So now the next thing we wanna do is to create our little medallions. So basically, you know, these pumpkins are made of little medallions here that we kind of use with the different sized strips here. So I'm gonna start with my 11-inch strip. So I'm gonna take 2 because we're gonna be gluing 2 strips together. So what we wanna do is we're gonna accordion fold. So right away, I wanna just kind of fold this in half lengthwise. And I'm gonna line it up really nice and kind of lay it down and really use my finger, my thumb. And then what I'm gonna do, so I get nice and even folds. So I'm gonna then measure and fold this way here into the halfway mark there. And then I'm gonna do it one more time and do it here. So you can see that I'm starting to fold. And what I wanna do now is go ahead and fold it one more time, going the opposite ways. So now what we're gonna be doing is our actual accordion fold. So that's why I say, you know, patience is really key here in our project and taking our time and really getting our folds really nice. And you know, that they're gonna be kind of even. And if they're not even, that's okay. Cause you kind of saw that my pumpkins over up here in the corner, they're not all that perfect. So we're just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go a little bit quicker here in creating my accordion fold. So this whole strip right there is accordion folded. So now I'm gonna do this to the second strip. So once again, we're gonna go ahead and fold it over here. And I'm gonna fold it one more time to the middle here, and then fold it one more time to the crease that I just made as well. So if it's easier, you know, you can do it on your surface and kind of holding it up right to the actual line there that is the crease. And we're gonna fold it one more time here. So, you know, once I've practiced this, you know, I've found out that kind of, you know, these smaller accordion folds just look just a little nicer, just like a little neater, especially if you are really taking your time and kind of really lining up your creases and making sure that your folds are really perfect. You know, that's what we're doing. And I'm folding and folding, 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 folding. We love folding, accordion fold. So that's an accordion fold. So voila. So you see now that we have basically both of our strips here. So you can go ahead and accordion fold all of these, you know, other strips that we already made if you want to, you know, while I move on to the next one. I forgot to mention, if you wanted to use double-sided tape, or if you have any tape, that's really useful here too. You know, but I have my hot glue gun that I'm just going to use, but I can show you how we would do it here too. So I just take a little piece, and it's tough, you know, I mean, double-sided tape is double-sided tape, so be careful because it might get stuck to your fingers. So I'm gonna put it right on this edge here. And the next thing we want to do is, after everything is folded in an accordion fold, our strips, is I just want to go ahead and I'm going to tape our two strips together. And we're going to be making circles. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to use the other one, and here you can see that I'm just taping, and I'm going to tape this one here too. So right now is like we made basically these circles, these crimped circles here. And so the next thing you want to do is you want to do it for the rest of them. So like we are going to do the same thing, just fold, like we can go to our 5-inch ones. And if you want to put them off to the side and remember, you know, which ones you actually made, what sizes are which sizes, that's really important to remember. Or you can kind of just tell and gauge from maybe the size of your circle once everything is glued together. So here we are. I'm going to just maneuver this way, just work a little faster. Here we go. Perfect. So put that one down. So this is our 5-inch one. So you can tell that this one's significantly shorter. And it's very important that we are gluing two strips together. It's very, very important. So then that's our next step, will be very easy and kind of fall into place the way that we're going to do it. So you saw how I just used, you know, my double-sided tape to work with that. But next I'm going to just use my hot glue gun. So if you have an adult helping or hanging out with you while you make your project today, awesome, amazing. Because they can definitely hot glue this, you know, the strips for you. So you can kind of see that I'm just dabbing lightly and kind of pushing that. And it's getting a little warm. But right now my hot glue gun is kind of ending. So thank God I have some extra glue sticks. So if you have some, awesome. So yeah, so you can see the biggest difference. So this is, you know, my 11-inch strips and my 5-inch strips. So I'm just going to put that off the side, and let me do the 9-inch one, so then we'll be able to see every difference. So we're folding that in half long ways, and that's all we're going to do is those long folds there. And we're just going right up to the creases. Perfect. And that's what we're going to do to now accordion fold, is this last section. So you can kind of see I'm starting to fold this way, that way, just back and forth. And I'm kind of moving a little bit quicker now, but you're seeing that I am doing this just a back and forth accordion fold. So if you need the support, you know, of like the table, like sometimes it could be easier if you're just pushing it back and forth this way. It's all up to you and how you like to work and do your folds. So there's that one. I'm gonna put this off to the side. And now I'm gonna do my last one. So we are going to fold in half lengthwise. Perfect. I'm gonna fold it one more time here. And one more time here. And now we can start our accordion fold. So I'm gonna fold it to the crease like that, and then fold it back. And then you can always, even if you want to, just like kind of flip back and forth like I'm doing. You see how I'm kind of just flipping the paper over little by little, like one by one. And that's what we can do. But if you need the support of the table, it's awesome, that's there. So, and I'm just kind of, it's not 100% perfect just because for time's sake, I'm trying to move along so we can do the whole tutorial, and that's all right. So here we go, and voila. So here is our other one. So you can kind of see. And so now I want to glue both strips together, which, you know, is very important. I need to put the extra stick in my glue gun here. It's very important for it to work properly, and the best that we need to glue both strips together to make a complete circle. Here we go. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue on each side. So sometimes it's nice to work with hot glue because it's a little quicker. It's just very hot, so that's why we always recommend having an adult or a guardian with you at some point to help you. So, okay, here we go. So here's 5-inch, 9-inch, and 11-inch. So each of them are two strips glued together. So since we had a set of, like, we had 4 strips each, so you'll have 2 complete circles. So next here is going to be a little bit of a tricky part, and you know, that's why it's important to kind of, you know, be patient and really take your time, and you know, exactly like, you know, not to get frustrated or anything, because you know, art's about kind of just really being creative and having a lot of fun. So this is going to be a little fun. So we're going to create now like these awesome medallions. So we kind of just, you see how it pops up. We want to just kind of be delicate and take our time in creating and pushing in these, you know, our like actual like medallions here, and creating this closed circle, like this kind of fan. So what I just did there, I know it's kind of tough to see because I'm holding it together. What I did is I just put glue like on the, in the middle of the medallion. So you can kind of see how I created that. And so now why it's easier and kind of a little nicer to work with hot glue is like, I mean, it's kind of, you have to wait a moment for the drying time, but what's nice about it, it is a faster drying time than like, you know, white glue or something. So you see, now it's kind of starting to dry, but you see it created this beautiful medallion, which is very similar to our my awesome pumpkin here. So you can kind of see, I'm letting it dry, and so you can kind of see like the way that I accordion folded, laid out these really nice, you know, even kind of fan look. And here I made smaller or larger accordion folds, so the pumpkin looks kind of a little different and a little bigger. So you can kind of see it's starting to dry, and I don't want to let it go because it'll fall apart. So that's why it's nice to kind of let it dry first, and then I'll finish gluing. So I'm going to show you, so that's, this was our size 11. So you can kind of see, you know, we can let it dry, we can look at our other pumpkins. And if you're listening to any Halloween music, that's awesome. You know, I've been watching loads of Halloween movies. I just watched The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is awesome. So I'm gonna let it go. And I kind of let it go a little here. And so you see it's nice and dry, but it's this awesome looking medallion. And I'm gonna put it off to the side so it completely dries. And so I'm gonna show you how we did that once again. So, you know, you can bring your strips together here. So this is our 9-inch one. And what I do is basically I kind of just pinched it together, and you see how I laid it down, but it's creating this nice, you know, fold folded medallion here, which is a little tough. So let me do it again. So you kind of see how I did that and just basically pushed all of it towards the middle to close in on itself. So you can kind of see, whoops, that you got to have a little bit of patience, especially with how long, you know, everything takes, and making sure that you have all of your strips and sizes. But I also wrote in the description, if you want to stray away from the sizes or start playing with different sizes, if you kind of see like how I already did with my examples, you know, that's okay too. And especially if you have different colored paper, you can even interchange the colors for your pumpkin. So you can kind of see how it's really moving around, and if you let go, that's a little tough. So that's why, you know, you kind of want to really hold on to it. So it's starting to dry. So I like to kind of hold it like this to make sure that it won't open up again. So just, you know, oh, see, and I got a little crazy with that. It's all right. And it's not too hot anymore because I just touched it, but so yeah, and I just want to make sure that I'm closing it right back up. So I'm holding it with a little bit of pressure, you know, so we can see that it's gonna hopefully stick. And I'm gonna just check the back side, hold it a little, and add some glue to the back side. Voila. So we're just gluing the middle parts down, so there we are. So holding that, and I'm just blowing on it a little bit, but so you can see, awesome, awesome, awesome. So what's amazing, since this is already taking so long, I already did some preparations, and I have prepped some different sizes for us to kind of play with and maybe see, you know, like how we want to glue our pumpkin together and what we want to do. You know, I kind of, some of them look way different. You know, I kind of played around with different sizes, you know, and things like that, and kind of the way that it folded and the way I ended up gluing it together. So, you know, and you can see definitely the difference. This is the one that I just completed, so you can kind of see the difference. So the accordion fold, and I made smaller, more folds, and how much different that looks than these larger folds here that I did. So I'm gonna put that to dry. And so this is our last string. I'm going to, you know, work with this one where I kind of, you know, bend it and fold it. So the smaller ones just are a little tougher, just I think because they are so small. So they kind of look a little funkier. That's okay. So we'll probably add a little extra love and glue here, so you can see that. Oh, oop, 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 oop. So you can kind of see how I messed that up, and it's the medallion, and that's what's paper for you. You can kind of see all the glue that got on my fingers. So that's why you need to be very careful and definitely have an adult be helping you with, you know, the way that this is working. So you see, I'm gonna let that off to the side to dry. Okay, and I'm gonna pick some of this glue off my hands. Okay, awesome. So now we can think about our awesome, you know, pumpkin assembly. So, you know, like here's, you know, a size 11. This is also a size 11 that I made. And then we have our size 9 here, and this is our size 5, and then this is our size 9. So they're just a little different, all of them. So you can kind of see that they are a little different, but what we want to do is we want to keep our size 5, our size, like our 5-inch one, and that's why it's nice to keep them separated. But we want to start off with our size 9 on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is, this is now our assembly part. So I'm going to put some glue here and add our, I'm going to add, oops, I'm going to add a size 11 on top of our size 9. So there we go. And so you can see I just put a dab of glue there, and I'm going to put a little bit of pressure because the next thing I want to do is add another size 11. So now I'm kind of adding these different sized ones, the larger size. So there's only a slight difference in the sizes. So you see I'm starting to glue them together. So I planned it to kind of have these larger folds, then the smaller folds, and then another larger fold to give it a nice different kind of balance to my pumpkin compared to the first ones that I made. So here, next, I'm gonna put another size 9. And then what I'm gonna put on the top is our size 5. So put another dab of glue. And this is where you also wanna be careful and make sure that, you know, you are definitely waiting maybe in between to let them dry so they're sitting up nice and straight, you know, kind of placing them in the correct position and how you want to. So I kind of made this one a little different, but I love that. I kind of like how there is like that bigger sized fold in the middle there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this one off to the side to let dry. So I'm gonna actually just kind of rest that right up against that pumpkin. Okay, so what's awesome here is I have so many extra ones that now I can kind of play around with it and make, you know, a few others. So I'm gonna just kind of play with the sizing and see maybe how I want these ones to kind of sit. And if I really maybe want to, you know, kind of add them together here. So you can kind of see, I'm gonna put these all on top together. Perfect. So I'm adding some pressure, making sure that they're kind of staying together here, and I'm gonna just kind of put that up there to rest against that one. Okay, so awesome. So now that our pumpkins are drying, we added them, we stacked them on top of one another. Now is where we want to add maybe some leaves and, you know, our twig and some twine if you have it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to maybe just draw one giant leaf here, another one here. Or if you know you want to, you can do, you know, like 2 smaller ones. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just trim this paper just so I don't have such a big one to cut. What I'm gonna do is just kind of trace the, like, you know, leaf shape. And if you, you can see kind of, I'm making just like flat leaves. So they almost look like eyeballs, like ovals. And, you know, if you want to change them up and kind of go with different leaves or maybe erase, you know, these pencil marks like I just kind of had, go ahead, you can do that. So if you want to add more leaves, that's totally up to you. I'm just going to do 1 per pumpkin for right now. And I'm going to just go ahead and put all my scraps off to the side. I can probably use some of these or cut some more leaves if I really want to. Just throw those off right to the side. And so now I have some of my twig. And I don't think, maybe I'll use some shorter ones. So I'm gonna just maybe cut these in half. So I'm gonna just cut them in half. See, now I have 4. So now we wanna go ahead and add our twig and leaves. And if you have some twine, you know, you can add that here too. So I can show you. So I'm gonna just cut a little bit of this twine. And with the hot glue, it's very important if you definitely are very careful, and especially adult is being very careful. What I'm going to do here is just kind of start with my twine and wrap it. So I put a little bit of glue and I'm wrapping the twine around my twig. You can kind of see. And you want to just kind of hold it in place. And if you want to wrap it up against the whole thing, you can definitely do that. But you see, I'm only just wrapping it a little bit. Perfect. So next I want to put a dab of glue. So that's what I'm doing. Voila. And I'm going to stick my twig and I'm going to stick my leaf. So I stuck my leaf and my twig. You know, and I definitely want to just maybe hold it up while it's starting to dry with the hot glue. And you can blow on it maybe a little bit if you'd like. So that's why I say, you know, like patience is really amazing and nice, especially when we're doing some nice, like larger craft art projects like this, definitely. And so now I'm going to add it to this next one. This one's super cute. So, you know, you can kind of see some of my glue is kind of having these like webs, and you can just be like, oh, these are like spider webs. They're meant for Halloween. Definitely. You can go and play with that. That would be totally okay. It's your project. You can kind of you know, play with it how you want and say what you want. So this one, you know, can be a little different without the twine. And here I'm putting my twig in right into my glue with my leaf. And it's kind of starting to fall just a little, and I can just hold it up. There we go. And now I'm gonna put some glue on this one. Stick my leaf. So if you have 2 leaves, awesome. 1 is just as good. And you can kind of see here how we're doing that. So you can definitely hold on to them to let them dry, make sure that they're going to dry. I'm gonna blow on it just a little, and voila. Oh, see, this one fell. Whoops, 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 whoops. That's okay. Perfect. So now is one of the important times. So we did complete the project. Amazing. I hope if you made a pumpkin or used this tutorial to make a different kind of pumpkin, different colored pumpkins, would love to see it. You can send it to us or put it into our comments here. But you can kind of see now that I have basically a whole pumpkin patch of pumpkins here. So which I love because I love pumpkins. This is my favorite time of the year. And I have some awesome projects lined up for us this month. So if you come back and hang out with me, we're gonna be doing some cool things. But definitely now is our cleanup time. So if you have any scraps or anything, definitely just toss them right into the garbage. You know, I always like to say to keep things nice and clean when we are working, but scraps can go right into the garbage. And if glue got anywhere, you know, on your fingers or anything, just make sure you wash with soap and water, and definitely pick them off, and definitely unplug the glue gun. That's what I'm doing. But I always have my nice little bucket of project or art supplies right here when I'm working with you guys. So I'm gonna put that all off to the side. And so yeah, awesome. So here was our awesome pumpkins. Our lovely pumpkin patch is here. Looks just like a real pumpkin. I'm super stoked. I'm gonna use these to decorate them all over the house. So happy Halloween, and I can't wait to hang out with you guys next Monday. So thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week.